Holy crap. Oh my God. No way.
I think you should just take a look. So there you go.
Dad,
You know, a little bit of,
how do you feel?
I'm excited. I really am.
Why do you want it?
Yeah. I guess it's like, you know.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Why do you want it, Dad?
How
Why
many
do
cars do you
want-
have at the house? Did you sell the Toyota?
No, but that'll probably go
drill
in.
down.
Okay, I want it because it's like the first truck you drove.
Yeah,
It's the first
car
truck
I
you
know.
drove. It's the first truck that Michaela drove.
I get it, but it was up in the field for 15 years.
Yeah.
But like, what if you got yourself a new diesel and you had new memories? Like, I love my truck.
I've got another answer. How about both?
Yeah, but like,
Here's the thing.
dude, you don't. It's too much shit. You have the
It's-
Cadillac. You have the
we
Jeep.
need more.
Like,
We must expand.
So fun story, real quick. It's got a little twist to it. So it was May 1st, 1986. I came into the world. The nurse had to take me away. My dad did not like the idea of that.
I was not happy with that.
They told him that they had to take me out of the hospital room.
Yeah, and so I grabbed a pin out of my pocket and I went in between your toes and put little marks in between all your toes. When no one was looking, I just grabbed your foot.
So then when they brought me
Wanna get back
back,
the same baby.
and marked me so that when they brought the baby back, it was his baby. Twist to the story is he's not even my biological father. He actually met my mom and fell in love with her when she already had 2 kids and was pregnant with me. Growing up, I had a lot of people tell me that I was beautiful, and I remember, you know, people telling my mom, wow, she's a really beautiful kid. What are you gonna do with her? And that made me feel really special. But my dad, he taught me how incredible it felt to like be strong. Come on, Morgan. He called me B. B. Push harder, you know, lift it. You can do it, you can do it. Yes! You guys see that?
Good job, Morgan. No mercy.
And he was just the guy that was just always there for me. This man always had weapons on him at all times to protect his 5 children and his lovely lady. He taught us kids, you know, how to protect ourselves and how to be street smart. Taught us how to aim and shoot at targets and how to chop down trees and build fires and tents and how to survive. How to just be strong, you know, how to get through things, how to be calm. My dad, he never got out of control. I never saw him get out of control once in my life growing up. I never saw him like drink more than a couple beers. He always he was the captain of the ship, the pilot of the plane, you know? And because of him and my mother and the combination of the 2 of them, I raised 5 wonderful children. Like, I'm the craziest one out of the 5 of us. And you know what? Yeah, I've been to jail. It wasn't for that long, you know? All of us kids are taking care of ourselves, self-employed, and staying out of drugs. And that's another thing about my dad, you know? There was a time in my 20s where I just wasn't even talking to my entire family, and I just was going through a really rough time, and I just called him up, and I was doing all kinds of things. It was right after I became like a pretty heavy alcoholic, and I was dabbling in other things, like, and it just wasn't good, and I wanted out, and I hadn't talked to my dad in a long time, and I called him up, and I just said, hey, Dad, can you come pick me up? He didn't even ask a question. The guy drove down to San Diego, and when I opened the door, the first thing he said to me was, oh, you got chubby cheeks now. I always liked you with chubby cheeks. I had gained a significant amount of weight in like 3-week span and from my crazy drug and alcohol abuse. And he packed my things up, didn't ask a question. I sobered up for a year and I went back to San Diego and I started a business. That man just has always been there for me. And I don't know who I would be without him. Probably just be a girl that was relying on her looks all the time and not on my own inner strength to get through stuff. And so when the Suburban fell into my lap, it was like, it's always been, how can I repay this man for just being such an incredible father to me? And the Suburban was just like, that's it. And so I tried, and I did everything that I could do, everything that I was capable of doing. So we put the new motor in, that's done. I know how to Raptor line, so I Raptor line the outside, I Raptor line the inside. The dashboard's incomplete, the front grille still needs to be done. I put a new brake cylinder in, so I'm hoping that those will be good. I powder coated the wheels, upgrade to his dream tires one of these days. And it was just time to get it out of that shop. So we decided to tow it, and we were gonna tow it to a shop close to my parents, but the tow charges, it was gonna be like $800 to $1,000 to tow it the 100 miles or 80 miles, 70 miles or something. My parents found a shop down near the property that it's on. And the day before it was due to be towed there, I called and I talked to him and asked him what his hourly rate was, and he said it was $125 an hour. I pretty much debriefed him and told him like where the Suburban stands, and that I just believe that it needs a new injector pump and we can either rebuild it or put a new one in. He said that he doesn't rebuild anything, he only replaces parts. I asked if he would be okay with me taking the upper manifold off myself and also taking the injector pump out just to save on the time, and he said absolutely not. And then he asked if I also plan to provide my own parts, and I said yes, and he said no, I don't do that. The only way that he would work on the vehicle is if he could do a full like assess the vehicle and charge for those hours, yada yada. And I told him that that's just not gonna work for me. We don't have the money to afford that. I was just honest. And he's like, you know what, I think I might know a guy. So he referred me to another guy, which was so awesome. So I called this other guy, Jess, up. And I just said to him, hey, here's the deal. I don't have a lot of cash. This Suburban is really important to my dad and my whole family and to me. I just really want to get on the road and I'm so close. Check it out. I have a YouTube channel. I have 30,000 people following me. I had 160,000 people watch the video on the Suburban. People love this thing. Would you consider letting me just take it to your shop, film me taking it there, and just help me diagnose this and help me get it on the road and just do it without, you know, it being so expensive? Please help. And he said, yes, I would love to help you. Come on down. So thank you, Jess. So we brought it down, and it just so happens that the name of his shop is the Diesel Doctor. Thank you for Jess. Hi, I'm Morgan.
Morgan.
Nice to meet you.
Morgan, that's it. Crazy
How's
Morgan.
it going?
What is it?
Can I film this?
Can you film? You can film anything you
Okay,
want,
cool.
Morgan.
So we're bringing
Alright.
the Suburban here.
You're bringing the Suburban here.
Yeah, this is my dad's Suburban. I'm about to
Okay.
show you my YouTube video I made of what it used to look like.
Okay, it looks pretty clean right there. What
So
is
you're
that?
the Diesel Doctor?
I am the Diesel Doctor.
Sweet.
Yes, we are going live YouTube. If it's leaking on the supply side, it shouldn't be running.
Okay.
Got me?
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't. It should be like, okay, it's not gonna start. It's not gonna run.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I'm kind of thinking. But without looking at it, who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
it just has a broken fuel line in it. I started the business in 1981. I was 22 years old when I started the company. It's family based. I have my son-in-laws here. Yeah, right in the corner. Son-in-laws, godson, my red-headed son over there, stepson. It's all one big family. All of my guys are well diesel trained, schooled, educated. I think amongst us, we probably have the most diesel technology in San Diego if we add up all the years. I'm 61 years old from 21. That when I started this company, the Diesel Doctor.
The Diesel Doctor.
That's it, Diesel Doctor.
Thank you.
Okay, got it.
All right.
Okay.
Good luck, Suburban. Good luck on that.
I know what it's a piece of cake. I was at the beginning of the factory when they came out online. So that's my knowledge right there.
120 bucks to tow. Not bad. You know what, you guys, at the end of the day, I've come to accept that I did everything that I could do. Honestly, it's at a way better place than it was when it was just stranded in a field. And I'm not a diesel mechanic, and I don't do upholstery. So I feel like, here you go, Pops. There we go. It's not over. You know, it's not over. And hopefully we can just get it at least on the road enough to get it to my parents' house without having to tow it there and pay that much money. And park it there and just continue to just try to get this thing on the road.
I love that. I remember, like you said, memories. That feeling of sitting behind that thing, looking down at people going.
It's the best thing I love about my truck.
And I always liked it when we'd go by Rob Cannon and the guys at Mike Grant's house, and they'd be going, "Oh, late win last night, huh, Mike?" From a wedding.
They'd hear it
They'd hear me
growling.
at 2 o'clock in the morning going. And Mike Grant would say, "Yeah, I rest easy when I hear that because I know Mike's home." So
Aw.
I know.
Say hi to my dad.
Hey,
Video thumbs up for my dad.
It's gonna
and my
live
brother.
again.
The the Suburban will live.
Mitch is the voice of reason.
This is why we brought. This is why. Mitch is the solution person.
He is a solution person. I'm
voice of reason.
At my advanced age.
Yeah.
I am. The memories and things mean more to me than they used to. So.
He still has my umbilical cord.
I do.
He does.
And hair and teeth samples. Here's where I picture the Suburban coming back. Sitting there up on the driveway, looking at that thing.
That's it, exactly.
On blocks.
Sitting there.
Sitting there
And
on
then
sitting there on blocks.
Then the Menifee rats just take over instead of the Tanaha
Did I
rats.
tell you I had that happen inside our garage in the Jeep?
Yeah.
We had rats
What do you
chewing
think's gonna
away
happen
inside Suburbia.
the thing? Yeah.
If
Every
it
time
were
I went
almost
up there,
any-
saw it at Mark and Lorelei, I was like, why don't we blow that thing up?
That might have been fun too. What if we
Yeah,
did
just
drop
like that.
10 grand into it? What would we have?
I know. That's what I think. That's how my brain works.
It wouldn't have to
Because I'm like,
happen
what if
all
I
at
have
once.
10 grand to blow next year?
I don't
and
want
the
you to
Suburban's
spend.
gone.
No, you're not going to do it on a Suburban.
To blow, Dad.
Okay, well,
Well, I know Mark and
if you do,
Lorelei.
I like that idea.
I think
My dad has had this thing since I was like 14 years old. It's how I learned how to drive. I hated the thing when he first bought it. Now I think it's absolutely epic.
Okay, here's one of the things I anticipated could be a problem.
Getting the tires off?
Yeah, frozen nuts. Nobody wants that.
Do you have like a percentage? You think like maybe there's a 50% chance I get this thing going again?
50?
60?
60.
40? What are you thinking below?
Are you kidding me?
There's so much grease and oil in there that the rats wouldn't eat it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Dad.
Yeah. The,
Sure they didn't eat anything.
I can't even believe it. There you go. Are you filming this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Any last words? Any final thoughts?
You know what? I'm ashamed for my doubt. I gotta tell you,
Pimp my ride.
it is been my ride.
Just you wait. It's just full of sticks. The entire thing. I just don't know how I'm gonna clean all this. I don't know. Let me just give you a quick tour.
Well, what's that?
Talk on the camera. This door's broken. That's the part we have to add. Oh, this thing's a ship box. We have this gorgeous original interior. It was full of rat shit. We got most of it out. Got the engine cleaned out. This was crazy. Look at that. Come over here.
Oh, look at this.
And then look at all this. Oh my God, was that
Look
little
at that.
flower? Oh, there he is! There he is! Oh, that's a bougie face. Okay. So I'm already seeing an issue here. This pipe is super loose. There's obviously an exhaust leak up here. While I was changing oil, I noticed that this part that turns out to be the shifter wasn't attached properly. So I went ahead and fixed that. There we go. Get a new cotter pin, put it in there, and that should fix that problem. Just a little bit of oil. That's easy. Look how black that is. All right, let's see if this thing gets any power at all. Good morning. Hopefully today I won't be running into as much rat crap as I did yesterday. Ripped the engine out. Yes, took the engine out. Went ahead and decided that it's not worth trying to fix. Instead of taking the heads off and trying to rebuild an engine with 300,000 miles, may as well throw another one in there.
I don't know if this
Rat poop, that's crazy. Instead of just waiting around for parts, let's just get the rest of the Suburban done. I'm gonna strip out the interior, start sanding the exterior, get everything ready for lizard skin in the inside, get the outside ready for paint, take out all the trim, take out the hood liners that are completely falling down, and just get this thing on the road. It's not gonna be the fanciest Suburban. We don't have all the funds in the world to do this. Hardly have any. We're working on like this much. So just gonna get this thing presentable, you know, comfortable, right? So let's go ahead and do it. Let's get started. Let's go.